Dear students, welcome to the course Groundwater and Hydraulics, Module 2, Fundamentals of Groundwater Flow, Session number 4. I am Raja Anwar Hussain, Assistant Professor, Government Engineering College, Raichur. So in this session, we will be studying about the various field methods for determining the coefficient of permeability, that is by pumping out test in unconfined aquifer and confined aquifer, and the factors affecting permeability and permeability of stratified soil deposits. So now let us see first pumping out test for an unconfined aquifer. In this figure you can see there is a main well and there are two observation wells. So as per the figure here, you can see there is a main well of small r, that is radius of main well, and here you can see from the center of the axis of the main well there is a capital R up to the water table level here. So this capital R is radius of zero drawdown or also known as maximum radius of influence and for this main well we have h here, small h, that is depth of water in the main well during pumping measured above impervious layer. Where here the capital H is height of initial water table above impervious layer. And here small h1 and h2 is the depth of water level for the observation wells 1 and 2, and the corresponding radius from the main well as r1 for the observation well 1 and r2 for the observation well 2. Where s1 and s2 are the drawdowns now let us arrive an equation for this pumping out test for an unconfined aquifer. Let this any point in the cone of depression, will take it as here P of x sub y let P of xy be any point on the drawdown curve the point O at the bottom of central axis of well is chosen as origin of reference So now applying the Darcy's law for flow through cylindrical surface of radius x and y, we have Q is equal to K into Ax into Iy, Ix, which is equal to, for the cylindrical surface of radius x and y, we have 2 pi x y into dy by dx. So now rearranging it, q into dy by dx is equal to 2 pi ky into dy. So now integrating between suitable limits, that is integration of small r to maximum radius is capital R with respect to dx by x and 2 pi k, limits are small h to capital H y into dy. So after integration we will be getting log to the base e capital R divided by small r 2 pi k. So here integration h square minus small h square divided by 2. So therefore k is equal to q divided by pi into h square small h square log the base e r by r. Let us say as equation 1. So here in equation 1, capital R is found to vary from 150 meter to 300 meters. So this R can be estimated by S of capital square root of k . So again here we have the depths of water in two observation wells are, that is H1 is equal to capital H minus small s1, H2 is equal to capital H minus s2. So here we can write y is equal to h1 at x is equal to r1 and y is equal to h2 at x is equal to r2. Therefore q into r1 integration r2 dx by x is equal to 2 pi k and the limits h1 to h2 y into dy. So after integration, the final equation what we are getting here is k is equal to pi into h1 square minus h2 square minus h1 square log to the base e r2 by r1. So this is the final equation for the pumping out test in an unconfined aquifer. So now let us see pumping out test in confined aquifer. So it is similar to the unconfined aquifer. Here is also the main well, it is there. Main well having depth h and here drawdown curve maximum radius of influence capital R, and these are the two observation wells. And R is the radius of main well. Now let us derive an equation for the pumping out test in an confined aquifer. Similarly to the unconfined aquifer in pumping out test, let here we will consider P of xy any point in the drawdown curve the origin of reference O is chosen at the bottom of axis of main well. So now applying the Darcy's law, that is we have Q is equal to K into AX into IX, which is equal to 2 pi x into dy by dx. So now rearranging it, that is Q into dx by x is equal to 2 pi bk dy by dy. So now integrating between suitable limits, that is Q limits are here small r and capital R with respect to dx by x 2 pi b k, and the limits small h to capital H with respect to dy. So after integration we are getting log to the base e capital R by small r, which is equal to 2 pi b k capital H minus small h. So therefore final equation Q, K is equal to Q divided by 2 pi b h minus small h log to the base e r by r. Let us say as equation 1. So here alternately Alternatively, if H1 and H2 are the depths of water measured above bottom impervious stratum in two observation wells located at radial distances small r1 and r2 from the main well, then we can write it this as Q, that is r1 to r2 integrating dx by x, which is equal to 2 pi b k h1 to h2 dy. So the final equation for here it will be Q divided by 2 pi b h2 minus h1 log to the base e r2 by r1. So this is the for pumping out test in a confined aquifer equation. So now let us see the various factors affecting the permeability are, so that is the Void's ratio, grain size, then we have structure and stratification, temperature, properties of pore fluid, entrapped air and organic impurities. So now let us see here a Void's ratio. To estimate K at Void's ratio other than the test Void's ratio, we can use this equation. K1 is equal to K2 is equal to C1 E2 cube divided by 1 plus E2, or the final equation, that is K is equal to K into E minus 0.1 whole square. So similarly for the grain size, here equation can be used is CD square into unit weight of water divided by N into E cube divided by 1 plus E. D is the measure of grain size. So whereas in structure and stratification, here it is also an important factor affecting permeability. So the same soil at the same Void's ratio, the permeability may vary with different methods of placement or compaction of grains, resulting in different geometric arrangement and shapes of voids. So temperature is also an important factor here in the factors affecting permeability. The coefficient of permeability K is a product of a quantity K dash which dependent on temperature and a function of the Void's ratio. That is here given as K dash is equal to C into unit weight of water divided by mu, where C is constant which is independent of temperature. So again now the properties of pore fluids. So the permeability would depend inversely upon the viscosity of the pore fluid, which is generally water. So with increasing temperature, viscosity decreases and hence permeability increases. So in case of entrapped air and organic matter, so these factors obstruct the flow in the soil voids and hence reduce the permeability. So complete saturation of sample should be done before performing a permeability test here. So now permeability of stratified soils. When a subsoil in the field consists of a number of strata which have different permeabilities, calculation of seepage through such a stratified deposit requires the computation of average values of K applicable for the whole deposit. So there are two such average values, that is the horizontal coefficient of permeability Kh when the flow is parallel and straight, and the average vertical coefficient of permeability when the flow is normal to the strata. So in nature, the soil mass may consist of several layers deposited one above the other. Their bedding planes may be horizontal, inclined or vertical. So here each layer assumed to be homogeneous and isotropic has its own value of coefficient of permeability. So the average permeability of the whole deposit will depend upon the direction of flow with relation to the direction of the bedding planes. So now let us see the average permeability parallel to the bedding planes first. So here in the figure you can see there are layers as that is Z1, Z2, Z3 and up to we will say n number of layers are there, and their corresponding velocity as V1, V2, V3 and Vn, and they have the permeability as K1, K2, K3 and up to Kn. Similarly the discharge also Q1, Q2, Q3 and Qn. So when the water is flowing, the velocity V, the water will pass down here. The difference in head it is given as delta H. So now let us arrive an equation for the average permeability parallel to the bedding planes. For flow to be parallel to the bedding planes, the hydraulic gradient that is small I will be the same for all the layers. So since we know that V is equal to K into I, that is the K is different the velocity of flow will be different in different layers. So then let Kx is equal to average permeability of the soil deposit parallel to the bedding planes So therefore total discharge through the soil deposit is equal to sum of discharge through the individual layers. So here we can write as total discharge Q is equal to Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3 up to Qn, or Q is equal to Kx into Iz. So as per the layers K1 I Z1 plus K2 I, here hydraulic gradient is constant, Z2 plus K3i Z3 up to Kni Zn, or Kx is equal to K1 Z1 plus K2 Z2 plus K3 Z3 up to Kn Zn divided by Z, where here capital Z is equal to Z1 plus Z2 plus Z3 up to Zn. So this is the equation for the average coefficient of permeability parallel to the bedding plane. Now let us see the average permeability perpendicular to the bedding planes. So here in this case, the velocity of flow and the unit discharge will be the same through each layers. The hydraulic gradient and the head loss through each layer will be different. So now let us derive an equation for the perpendicular to the bedding planes, that is average coefficient of permeability perpendicular to the bedding planes. So denoting the head loss through the layers by H1, H2, H3 up to Hn, and total head loss as small h, we have small h is equal to H1 plus H2 plus H3 up to Hn, but H1 is equal to I1 Z1, H2 is equal to I2 Z2, H3 is equal to I3 Z3 up to In and Zn, Hn is equal to. Therefore, H is equal to I1 Z1 plus I2 Z2 plus I3 Z3 up to In Zn. Let us say as equation 1. Now, if Kz is equal to average permeability perpendicular to the bedding planes, then we have here V is equal to Kzi, which is also equal to Kz H by Z, or H is equal to Vz divided by Kz. Also I1 is equal to V divided by K1, that is V is equal to, we know that K into I, so I can write it as I1 is equal to V divided by K1. Similarly I2 is equal to V divided by, here velocity is constant K2, and up to In is equal to V divided by Kn. So now substituting these values in equation 1, we get Vz divided by Kz, which is equal to Vz1 divided by K1 plus Vz2 divided by K2 plus up to Vzn divided by Kn. So or Kz is equal to, I can write it as capital Z divided by Z1 divided by K1 plus Z2 divided by K2 plus up to Zn divided by Kn. So this is the final equation for the average permeability perpendicular to the bedding planes. I hope you have understood these derivations, that is average permeability parallel and perpendicular to the bedding planes.